Guys, are you ready for Ryan Reynolds to give you a reverse vasectomy? Well, I think he's preparing for that in the newest aviation gin ad put together by Maximum Effort. Now, welcome back to the channel, guys. I got some messages saying it looks like you're going live at like 3 a.m. What is going on? So I hope this is working. And I obviously put in the wrong time. So people would not be expecting me to go live right now. That's totally cool. Say hi on the replay if you were planning to join me later. But yes, you are right. If you sent me a message, I don't go live in the middle of the night. But let me just make sure everything's okay. Seems to work regardless. Everyone's just going to be very confused. You can expect me to go live between like 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Good morning. It's so nice to see you guys. We may or may not see other friends we're used to seeing. All on me. But let's start, guys. I have a call at noon, so we are on a little bit of a time crunch today. We are going to be talking about a few things. Ryan Reynolds, reverse vasectomy. I don't know. Is this an Easter egg that they're having another kid? With them having pushed around a baby stroller yesterday in their PR stunt with Backrid and then reverse vasectomy. Is this like a little bit of an Easter egg? But we're going to look at this. He has a new ad. We're going to look at Blake Lively's continued press tour. She was out promoting Betty Booze and talking about how she makes the drinks in her home. Yet she has repeatedly said she doesn't drink alcohol. But we're going to talk about that. I'm actually going to bring up a video of her at a Forbes event, the one that I think everyone saw, the I Need Authorship video, because I want to show you guys how Blake actually can be put together and speak well. She's not the best public speaker I've ever seen, but it just shows you a big difference. This morning, I might put a compilation together for you guys. I was looking at videos over the years from her, and when she's looking to portray, or she has a message around, and it's a great message, women victimization with women, girl power messages, etc. She has a very specific way she shows up. And when she's trying to show up as CEO Blake, she has a very specific way she shows up, and you can track it throughout the years. And again, that creates that inconsistency within her brand where you're like, well, what are you? Who are you? You're flipping based on the narrative you want to sell. So we're going to look at that. And then I also want to look at a couple things as I was diving into the connections between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Salma Hayek, her husband, and the judge. I found some interesting threads. And now I'm thinking that Ryan Reynolds' goal is to be like Salma Hayek's husband. But I'll just put it out there for you guys to have a look at. Hello, my bad. Actually, my brain is not awake yet. Mine either, apparently, because everyone's sending me messages going, are you really going live in the middle of the night? What is happening? No, we're all just struggling. I think Blake's worn us all down this week. Hello. It's so nice to see you. Hot and sunny in the Netherlands. I love that. So nice to see everyone. Okay, let's start with this. Now, for those that are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to like, subscribe, hang out in the chat. It's a fantastic chat. It's one of the things I pride myself most on with this channel is the community is so welcoming and an absolutely incredible community. So you will be welcome with open arms in the chat. I hold high standards for the chat. But my background, 15 years in branding and marketing. So if you're enjoying a different take on the headlines within Blake, Justin, Ryan, and everything else that's going on with these lawsuits, this is your place. Now, I do have the window open and my roosters are all crowing. So if you hear roosters in the background, yes, those are my roosters. This ad leans into something that Ryan Reynolds is very well known for, and it's why his ads and why Maximum Effort previously has done so well. And he leans into nostalgia. Nostalgia marketing. I actually have a video probably from 4 or 5 months ago on nostalgia marketing, both the Eras tour with Taylor as well as Ryan Reynolds really lean into nostalgia marketing. So when he and his aviation gin ads are huge for that. But when we're looking at this, I mean, he even says in the little blurb here, 90s drama meets dad trauma. Happy Father's Day. So it's nostalgia marketing. He's bringing back people from the 90s that really hit that, like the happy times, sending you back to the 90s. I mean, the 90s were those were good years, but it's very intentional when he does this. It is a marketing strategy. It's sales psychology. So we'll play with this a little bit. It's a minute and 16. If you guys are newer to seeing content like this streamed, Oh shit, I might be on the wrong. Shit, I might be on my wrong. I have multiple YouTube for my different businesses. We might get hit with ads on this because I don't think I have YouTube Premium on this one. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. But we'll look at this. It's Father's Day and Brian Austin Green.
Father's Day. And since my fiance recently and very publicly said that she wants me to father a sixth child, I'm going to celebrate with a reverse vasectomy. I have no idea.
So again, it's weird for me. And again, sorry, I do have to pause and give commentary or we'll get taken down. We'll get struck, especially with the music in the background, and be prepared for an ad to hit because I do think I'm on my other businesses YouTube. But he's hitting nostalgia. Even the colors, everything, the sounds, he's really good at what he does in terms of marketing, not for It Ends With Us, but his lane, Ryan Reynolds, if he had stayed in his lane for marketing, he would have done well. His problem was he tried to cross over into genres. Okay. His problem, first and foremost, was him and his wife taking over a movie. But if we put that aside, was also trying to cross into drama or genres and niches that he had no business being in. Just do what you do well. Good businesses are simple and they stay in their lane.
Yeah, how to make one, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
God, you can't do anything without me.
Worry.
Our show having a laugh track.
Just read the lines. It's working. First, you're going to garnish an empty glass with an orange twist. Give it a...
Does this not make you think of Blake Lively's ads for Another Simple Favor too? There was marketing. There was so much marketing that looked just like this. Orange makes him look bigger. Yeah, the orange is not flattering. Not a huge fan of that.
Star.
Seems totally unnecessary.
Shh. Add 3 ounces of tonic, a squeeze of lemon. Pour in 1 ounce of cranberry juice. Add 1.5 ounces of Smooth Aviation American Gin. Hold this.
And the interesting thing for me is when you hear Ryan in the background, it reminds me a lot of that weird It Ends With Us marketing that we had. Remember where it was Ryan and Brandon, Sklenar, and Ryan's mom, where Ryan's coming and running in. It's the exact same marketing. Now, here's the thing. I get people that say that, he's a one-trick pony. It's not bad to have kind of a shtick that you're known for. But again, don't bring it over to a DV movie and don't try to steal someone's movie.
And finally, add some ice.
Except when Ryan comes in.
We're not a couple.
Get in there. What do
Ryan,
you mean
we
you're not a
can't.
couple? We saw you get married on TV. May 17th, 2000. I recreated your entire bedroom in my own home. Even the thread count, 80, and the paisley wallpaper.
So he recreated their bedroom in his own home. But again, what we're seeing is nostalgia, right? He brings in that nostalgia. 90210, you got it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that is the new aviation gin. Now, interestingly enough, Ryan had just popped up. Let's just see. I thought I had that. Actually, we'll flip over to what Blake's been up to, and then we'll see them together because Blake was out promoting something of her own. They're both promoting their alcohol right now. Probably a better time. I don't know if right now is a great time, but they were also doing this. She was promoting her alcohol brand while she was promoting a DV movie, which stirred up that organic backlash. It was organic. People were not happy, even though she refused to see it. People were not happy that she was promoting alcohol in a DV movie, especially with the links. I mean, I worked in that field for a long time. The links between alcohol and violence. Yes. You got it. See, you guys are all going to be marketing and PR experts from this channel. This channel needs to offer like continuing education credits or something. You got it. It's that Generation X, elder millennial nostalgia. We see through you. While he's doing that and talking about reverse vasectomies, we have Blake over here promoting Betty Booze.
I'm proud to be here, and please spread the word because as fancy as this looks, we really are just a startup and we work really, really hard with a lot of care and a lot of passion and a group.
Sorry to interrupt already, but I just find it playing that we're really a startup. It's just, you're multimillionaires.
Group of people who just love this company and love what we do and love the people who are our audience. So anyway, Thank you. These are the wave everybody buzz team in many ways. She makes our social and she's amazing.
Amazing. Like even that voice is very intentional. Again, when you go back and you look at Blake's history, you start to see a trend. And we'll do that one day when there's not news popping off in this case. I'll make a video for you guys so you can see it. Whenever she wants you to see her in a certain way, as a little bit vulnerable, feel bad for me, or I'm innocent, she gets that different voice.
Anyway, we have, there we go, Katie back there. Anyway, so we have lots of great people, and yeah, thank you for being here, and please enjoy the charm bar. Honestly, before I get there, because I'm gonna make them all. I'm just like covered in them. I have them in my pockets, pouring out when I leave with tired. And the food looks so good, so enjoy that too. And then if you don't drink, we have Buzz, and then our mocktails are amazing. So please try them and make them your own. And that's what's fun, is that it's interactive, just like making your own necklace. You can go to the garnish board and you can, like this, I put some passion fruit inside and some mint on top, and then it just made it its own thing. So I always like to personalize things. So
she also had a clip of this come out where she said that she liked the bottles because people could put Q-tips in it. Q-tips and paper clips or something. It was so bizarre. So bizarre.
Yeah, feel free to make it your own. And if it's bad, who cares? We got more. So anyway, thank you for being here and enjoy. Thank you for celebrating.
So alive, even the hand movements up near her heart. The shoulders are forward a little bit. So especially if you watch my video from yesterday where we talk about that ruler archetype, when you see Blake and that ruler and owning her space, her shoulders are back. She has this kind of look to her. She's wearing really bold jewel tones. You could argue it's a little jewel tone-esque here, but it's still more of like candy pop kind of look to it, the outfit. And the shoulders are forward a bit, right? And that's all body language, which is like protecting myself, hands up here. Even the stuttering to me feels very forced. She did this on Seth Meyers as well. It was that like vulnerability piece. So when the outfit is horrible. Yeah, it is pretty bad. Feels like my old girlfriend that Blake does. So she does that. We saw that with Ryan Reynolds as well in his Time 100 speech. Do you guys remember that? Let me know if you remember in the chat, because we pointed out here on the channel where people said, oh my gosh, he looks like something, he's off. Like he had the hunched shoulders. He was dressed in a very different way, a more casual way. He was stuttering. That's all intentional PR. Someone coached them to have that, because when we look at, let's look at this quick, and then we'll flip over to, their publicity stunt that they did at the same time as they're both promoting their drink brands. So do you guys remember this one? Yeah, the one she needs authorship on. She still talks with her hands, which I'm not going to knock the girl for that. I mean, I'm horrible for talking with my hands. I'm very expressive when I talk. I'm not going to knock her for that. That's something that she tends to do. But just notice the difference.
Things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes. Just I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not often given
that is not
yet
scripted.
Women represent 85% of people making purchases in homes across all categories. Yet the majority of things that we're buying are created by men. And that goes into storytelling, that goes into filmmaking, that goes into everything. So I think that it's
those I think she's trying to remember a script, but you can also see the difference between the two.
And I like a lot of stories told by men and products made by men, but it's just not equitable, but it's also not logical.
I shouldn't have played that much, because now I'm going to get in trouble. Now I'm going to take it out.
Having the entertainment industry as sort of this microphone or this boost that I get to, sort of help promote my businesses with. But if the product isn't great, I can only sell one bottle. If the product isn't great, then I have nothing. And
so she still does but she's looking with her eyes a lot as if she's trying to remember a script, which tells me as well that she is coached on what to do. She's coached on what to say. But here she's more confident in how she talks about her products. And the other one, it's like, if it doesn't work out, you know, we all make mistakes kind of
Your
energy.
successes, which is really awful and painful at the time. And people tell you that, but you actually do learn more. There are growing pains in us. And this applies to filmmaking, to everything. The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing.
Yeah, I'd say Justin Baldoni ignored the red flags, Blake.
Those are the times where you fail, where if you see that something's broken, you have to stop and fix it, because once you put it out there, it's so much harder to catch up. So I really think it comes down to quality and conviction, and that's sometimes hard as a.
So can you see the difference? Like, she's still not a super confident public speaker. I mean, she's not the next Tony Robbins or anything. She's not going to command a stage. We're not going to find that no matter how much digging you do on her. But the when she was doing the you could tell she forgot the script. So from a body language perspective, she was looking around a lot. And so she's trying to bring it up from her memory, which is different than the and that more vulnerable, the shoulders forward, hands up by her heart that we're seeing in more recent content. So that those are very different. She very obviously she forgot where she was.
Woman, because, you know, you question if you're being difficult or if you're too in your head. But if you have great quality and you believe in it, and you listen to your business and you listen to the red flags and you address the issues, then. And
see, when she's back on track, she's not doing the she's not stuttering as much. Her scripted versus forgetting her script are totally different. But you can see, like, the woman is capable of being articulate. It is still a bit of word salad, but it's not rambly, really fast talking word salad. She is capable of being articulate.
You know, I find that that's when you have success.
Oh, damn it. That's probably going to get me. It's probably going to get me. I always try to avoid that. So that's Blake in a more scripted interview from the different perspective when she's coming more from the business side. But again, she's never going to be the next Tony Robbins or anything. Let's pull up. I thought I had the tab ready, but I don't. Let's pull it up here. Oh, she's already been bumped out of the headlines. Let's have a look. So yes, that more vulnerable. I would say she goes into everything scripted. Her statement in her Instagram stories about her win and being vindicated, that wasn't written by her. That was 100%. I am willing to die on the hill of that was 100% her PR team that wrote that. Capable is putting it nicely. Hello, guys. It's so nice to see you guys in the chat. Listening to her talk, I understand why people say it hurts their ears. Yeah. She's very scripted. It's always scripted, which also shows that it's very scripted when she has that more vulnerable speech as well. So it's already been actually knocked out of the top. Early this morning when I woke up, it was all about her promoting her alcohol, but it looks like it's starting to get knocked out. This is still in the top. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds enjoy casual stroll after Baldoni legal win. It's still being pushed as legal win, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they changed the headline after lawsuits tossed. So this is the video of them. I don't think they have any youngsters. So between the reverse vasectomy and this here with them together, I don't know. Do you guys think this is an Easter egg? Do you think they're trying to tell us something? She's planting seeds and rumors in her spare time. I agree. Her being scripted is what attracted Ryan to her, probably. When it's not scripted, it's word salad. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Everyone's so tired. Welcome to the chat. So they are seen after the event. So this was Blake and Ryan are all smiles, and no wonder, seeing as they've recently scored a big win in their legal showdown with Justin Baldoni. Catch the video and pics. The duo kept it light, breezy, and full on good mood as Blake pushed their youngest. Do we know there was an actual child in there? While Ryan walked us alongside during a casual New York City stroll Thursday. The interesting thing with this is they've started to get bad publicity, or not necessarily bad, but they've been starting to get some publicity around the fact that Ryan wasn't with her at the Chanel event celebrating on this victory tour. He was actually with Seth in New York, wasn't with Blake. And there was some kind of pushback that was starting to show online. So they had to make an appearance together. This was definitely scripted. It was definitely PR. And now we also know because they're both also promoting their alcohol brands. But they show up and they're like, no, you know, I'm totally relaxed. It's all good. They want the good PR. They want to start shifting the narrative over on Google. But to me, this is like, I just picture Blake at home, one talking to her lawyer and be like, you have to go on TMZ and fix this. You have to make sure that Brian Freeman knows that I'm not afraid of him and I will take this the whole way. And if you watched my previous video, I honestly will die on the hill that Brian Freeman set a trap for her, that he knew her ego could not drop the lawsuit if he triple dog dared her to take it to the end. So I just picture her saying that to Brian Freeman, that her saying, Ryan, we have to do a publicity walk. We have to do a pap walk. This is from Backgrid that sent this in. It's very obvious. They're just walking down the street with a stroller. You can't miss them. And even the colors, it's more muted colors. You know, I just picture Ryan, we have to do a walk. We have to be seen together. People are saying Justin Baldoni's out here with his smear campaign saying that we're getting divorced. Justin Baldoni's smear campaign is submitting blinds to, you know, I just picture her like this because I genuinely don't think, which is actually sad, that she has a mirror to be able to see that she's the problem and that people genuinely just don't like her. I've said from the beginning she should have just went away. Let it, like, ride it out. But I mean, could you be more obvious who you are? And Backgrids typically dial a pap. It's typically used when you call someone and you have them waiting. So they're all labeled Backgrid. I don't know. What do you guys think with this? Convenient timing. And this came out. There's a push for this. And Taylor Swift was like, girl, keep my name out of your mouth because I'm going to get my own news. Let's flip over to that. This is like an SEO PR war. I wasn't going to bring up Taylor because we're on a timeline, but let's do it. When you typed in Taylor Swift news, or even her name, what was starting to take over the headlines was that Scooter Braun was being dragged into this legal mess. Yeah, their youngest is about 2.5. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was like a child. Let me just see what you guys are saying. Brian Freeman was opposing Doug Liman when Amazon pulled the rug on Doug Liman by going straight to streaming. Ari Emanuel's involved too. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. He had her, don't say that I'm afraid to go on TMZ. Yeah. Yeah. They were like, we'll go on TMZ. It's just ridiculous. And it looked horrible. It looked like they were just reacting, like had to have the last word. I think it was a bad look. I don't think her PR team should have gone on TMZ. If you want to do CNN and do your legacy media stroll, go on CNN. That's fine. But it just looked bad. That stroller looks small. That's what I thought. I thought it looked small. Hi, sweetheart. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let me see if I can get some help. Hey, I know. Do you want to play? You haven't had a nap. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you want to say hi? Show everyone how big you're getting? Come here. Come here. You're getting too big to pick up. Oh, tiny. Oh, tiny. Do you guys remember how little he was? Say hi. Say hi. That's Tundra. Tundra. Oh, my baby. He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. So you guys have seen Tunny since he was a baby. We adopted him after we lost Alaska. You're gonna break a tooth. My other husky earlier this year, and those that have been on the channel since this morning, earlier this year, you guys would have met Alaska, but that's how Tundra entered the family. All right, sweetheart, why don't you go see Julia? Now Jules is coming over. Oh, cover in dog hair. Someone's gonna leave a comment being like, "Do you have a lint roller?" People get so mad over like dog hair on my clothes. Okay, where were we? He's gonna go for a walk. Okay, so when we first were looking at Scooter Braun being pulled into this mess, I think it was very intentional by Blake to push headlines that included his name. because it would have been linked to Taylor. It got Taylor linked to her name again. So you started to see Taylor's name getting dragged back into this mess. And Taylor was like, no, 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 no. You're not controlling my narrative. You're not controlling what people see when they look for my name. And it's funny because my DMs have been blowing up from you guys going, Ash, remember we were all saying that Taylor Swift would pop up somewhere? She did. And it was a smart PR move because look at this. She has control of her SEO again. So SEO is search engine optimization. You want control of the first 2 pages at least, my friends. So those that are new, make sure to subscribe, like the channel, welcome, hang out in the chat. But I have media manipulation playlists where you can go in a little bit more to this. But the first 2 pages, you want your version of events out on. And Taylor's version, oh, that was so clever. Taylor's version was being taken over by Blake. So her going out to the hockey game was fantastic because we have these headlines. Taylor Swift shared a sweet selfie with a fan at the Oilers Panthers, which also separates her from Blake. I thought that was great. It was so good. It's definitely Taylor. She seems very gracious with her fans, but it was also strategic because it also separates her from this crazy one over here is rude and entitled. I love when StreamYard gives me a thumbs up. I always feel like it's agreeing with me. This one over here is rude and entitled, and I have no problem hanging out with my fans. I have no problem being interrupted and making people feel special. It was smart. Chef's kiss. But it's dominated now. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce step out for date night at the Stanley Cup Finals. Taylor Swift, another headline that's coming out is she's really excited to support him during NFL season. So that's starting to trend. Those stories, and you guys can see this. And here's the thing, PR isn't bad. On this channel, when we talk so much about Blake doing manipulation with SEO, I don't want you to get the idea that branding or marketing or PR is bad. It's not bad. It can definitely use to manipulate, but it's a personal brand. You want to have control of the narrative with your brand. So Taylor Swift to support Travis during the NFL. Taylor Swift wedding photos slammed over plastic surgery allegations. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. Who even cares, even if she's had it? Let women do what they want. Taylor Swift granted temporary restraining order. So Taylor Swift, really sweet comment to Travis Kelce revealed by lip readers. I can't even imagine the level of fame where you came and talk in public because you have lip readers. But this is great. So within the last 24 hours, she's completely taken back control of the narrative on Google and also on every app. So everyone's talking about them being at the event. And you're not really seeing anything linking her to Scooter Braun. So that was a huge loss for Blake Lively. Blake is buried. Yes. Taylor buried her. Hopefully, in more ways than one. More ways than one. I do actually. Hello, it's so nice to see you. Like Tara Locke would agree, she cannot go back to Blake or Ryan. I genuinely hope she doesn't. My argument is always celebrities are only seen when they want to be seen. So there's always friendships and things going on behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about. But I hope not. I love my doggy too. Oh, we're animal lovers here. I just missed him with a little sprayer because it's so hot. He loves that. Tundra loves that too. Julia used to, but I think she's like too old and too cool for that now. She's like, Mom, get away. I'm too cool. I'm German Shepherd. But Tundi loves it. All right. So winter's coming. How Stark remembers. So Taylor's take it. She's buried Blake in their SEO, which is fantastic because there's no reason Taylor's name needs to be attached to Scooter Braun right now or that it ends with us drama. Okay. Is there anything else let me double check that there wasn't anything else before we go into this weird. I am convinced Ryan Reynolds wants to be Salma Hayek's husband. Wait till you guys see this. It's wild. But let me just double check. So I thought there was one more thing I want to talk about before we flipped over. Oh, I did want to talk about that. Because this is what's happening. So Blake Lively's Betty Boo's brand is confusing fans. So one of the things I say so much, because this is literally what I do until I can just hang out with you guys. It's so funny. This is a little side quest, but I heard Emily D. Baker say the other day, she's like, I can't do consulting and YouTube. So I don't do consulting anymore. And I have no doubt about that because man, both take up so much of your time. But I still do work with brands every single day, more on a consulting basis. But this is one of the biggest problems Blake has in her brand, other than if we take all of the it ends with us issues out of this, she still has a lot of problems in her brand because she is so confusing. Who are you? And I have a video on this, which is like gaining a lot of traction. I didn't realize you guys cared about branding. But in one hand, for her booze brand, she's like, I don't drink. But then you see videos coming out from her and she's saying, these are the drinks I make in my own home. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. Well, girl, what is it? Hello, good morning, Shay. It's so nice to see you. Which one is it? And this is the problem that she's consistently meeting within her brand because people don't trust her, even before the it ends with us stuff. And so when we look at, well, was this organic? I hope Blake Lively sees this. Blake Lively was organic because even if people didn't realize it before, you constantly contradict yourself. And it was creating that sense of like, there's something about this woman that I just don't like. Oh, that was the other video I meant to play to show Blake when she's like not playing the victim role. It's the one with Sherstein. I'll try to pull it up. But she, it's so confusing because in one hand, she's saying one thing and in another hand, she says something else. And subconsciously, when you have brands that are confusing, that go back and forth, it's like if one day I was on here wearing like, I don't know, trying to think the complete opposite of what I wear, like a sundress and a big floppy hat from Another Simple Favor and just like really girly and flowy, you're going to be like, Ashley, what are you having an identity crisis? What is going on? So the fact that she keeps flipping back and forth is confusing and it breeds distrust. One of the things I say all the time is you rupture trust with your client base or your customer base or your fan base, your community. You rupture trust. And that's what she consistently does. And then now she's trying to blame Justin for it and saying, no, it's a smear campaign. Girl, no, you just keep rupturing trust and people have figured it out. And now people are looking back at how you treated journalists and how you try to sabotage Penn Badgley on the set of Gossip Girl and all these weird, confusing pieces to your brand. And they're like, oh, that's why I never liked you. That's why something always felt off. So this is starting to gain traction, is that people are confused because she's saying, I make this in my home, but she doesn't drink. Blake Lively launched an alcoholic brand named Betty Booze back in 2023. The actress who doesn't drink alcohol recently took to social media to announce the latest flavors from her brand, confusing fans. Fans question Blake Lively's Betty Booze brand amid her previous non-drinking claims. Again, this is the problem she consistently has. Blake Lively recently attended an event for Betty Booze in New York City's Maxwell Social on Wednesday to celebrate the launch of 2 new flavors and vodka iced teas, Meyer Lemonade and Passion Fruit. At the event, the actress gave a brief speech about the 2 flavors. She said that Betty Booze spent so much time on every single flavor, genuinely. The Gossip Girl emphasized that the recipes used to make the drinks were from her home. Oh, this must be the original one I was looking for. However, fans took to the comment section to question and criticize the actress's promotion of Betty Booze since she once admitted in a past Instagram post that she doesn't drink alcohol. In the post, Lively wrote, "Drinking isn't my thing, but for F's sake, flavor is." So this is the...
But we've just launched our vodka iced teas. One is Meyer Lemonade, one is Passion Fruit, and they really are from recipes in my home, something that we make over and over again. And the way that we know it's right is that if I can make it and then we try the canned version and you do a blind taste test and you can't tell the difference, then that's when it's great. And
so we make this in my home. So she drinks it. She taste tests it.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of rounds and a lot of people, many of whom are in this room, to make it that great. We don't use any artificial anything. It's all...
Oh, this is when she gets, and I am all for non-artificial stuff, but this is, I think, where she gets into the Q-tips.
all real fruit. And because we care about the people who are drinking it. We care about, we have our packaging is sustainable and it's so pretty. You can reuse it as bases or put, I don't know. I remember saying that they can put Q-tips or paper clips in them. They're like, nobody's going to do that. And then week 1 when we launched, all these people were posting flower bases. And I was like, see, you can't underestimate us millennials. And
Okay, do you catch that? You can't underestimate us millennials.
Gen Z is even more crafty.
You can't underestimate us millennials and Gen Z. Who else talks about nostalgia? Maybe her hubby? Maybe Ryan Reynolds? They leverage, and nostalgia. I have a previous video on Ryan where he leveraged that in Canada. He was leveraging Tragically Hip and this like fake Photoshop picture of being in town, but he's leveraging nostalgia. So psychologically, what happens? This isn't going to happen to you guys because you guys are smart and you watch this channel and you're on top of all the sales psychology and branding psychology. But what happens for the average person when you start bringing up nostalgia-like feelings, whether it's like, the necklaces she talks about or, anything that could bring up nostalgia. Tragically Hip for Ryan Reynolds is a big nostalgia piece for Canadians. You start to feel good, right? She's done this in the last couple of weeks, talking about summer and barbecues and, being by the water with your family and friends and telling stories and sharing drinks. She's bringing up all these good feelings because then you put yourself in that and you go, oh my gosh, you don't even realize it, right? But your subconscious mind is thinking, oh, you're feeling the warmth of the sun and hearing the laughter in your mind's eye of you being with your family. You feel good and you're consuming the brand by consuming their content, and you start to attach positive feelings to the brand. Nostalgia is Eras Tour is one of the best examples of nostalgia marketing that has ever gone down. I will lay everything on the table for that. It is the best example of nostalgia marketing. But yeah, it's she's pulling on it too. Okay, let's get into, because I do have to be off I have an interview at noon. I want to look at these weird connections. Do you guys want to look at these weird connections? Because this is weird. This is weird. Okay. Let me just pull it up here though. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. Okay. So in the video that just went up this morning, now I'm going to admit I know nothing about soccer, football, whatever it's called. I genuinely have no idea. This is going to be very cliche, but I know hockey loosely, but I grew up in horse sports like dressage and show jumping and stuff. So I don't know the proper terms for this, but it's very interesting because when you start to look up Salma Hayek's husband, make sure to watch the video I did this morning as well. It was only uploaded a couple hours ago. He has a lot of similarities to branding moves and business ventures that Ryan Reynolds has made. So François-Henri Pinault, he's the man who bought his boyhood club. So this was posted September 1st, 2023. And from what I can... Someone's going to rip me apart for this in the comments. I know that this is going to happen. From what I can tell, remember, I don't know much about sports, but it's the French kind of version, the French league to Wrexham. Now, Francois is also the owner of CAA, which represents Doug Liman, who is Judge Liman's brother. CAA is essentially WME. When you want to talk power players in Hollywood, CAA is essentially WME, that kind of level of power players. So he has connections to that. His holding companies, so through Artemis and Kering, Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, luxury yacht companies, luxury vineyards. This man owns everything luxury. Welcome, Alice. It's so nice to have you as a member. So it's just weird when I found out that Francois, it's not that he has the business ties with Ryan in the sense of he's connected to Wrexham, but they both made moves with like this heartfelt story about, this boyhood club. Ryan took kind of a similar lens with Wrexham, and he took this lens of the underdog, helping, fight for the underdog, bring back the underdog. And Francois took, the boyhood club. Now, of course, he doesn't really care about marketing. I'm sure he's we did it the other day. I don't know, something ridiculous, multiple billions of dollars. But it was just really interesting to see. Yeah, despite their enormous wealth, the Pinauts eschew bling bling signings in favor of stability on and off the pitch. So although not an intrusive owner in the vein of Florentino Perez or Jerry Jones, Pinault does have immense say in the key decisions the club takes. As benefits of the CEO of a luxury brand that's home to Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent, François-Henri Pinault seems to take pride in cutting his cloth to suit the occasion and refuses to pay over the odds for players playing their trade in what is, by common consensus, only Europe's fifth or sixth best league. So it goes into the story here. He has also heavily invested in the club stadium. We're starting to see that a lot with Ryan Reynolds as well, where, he's talking about investing in just like the culture of Wrexham. You see that in a lot of like that underdog, like community aspect, which is interesting because it just doesn't seem like Ryan's brand anymore, I guess, now that we've seen past the lies and the stories. But previously, I suppose it did. I suppose you could have argued maybe previously before we saw through everything. But it's just really weird to me how they both own, like his is in France. So it's different. It's a French club, but it says, and thanks to his deep pockets, the clubs, we're really pulling on, like, we had to take French in school, guys, but that's been a long time. La Pierre d'Hier training facility is one of the best in the land. So Canadians will understand. I don't know if they still do it, but when we were kids, we had to take French. I wanted to keep it up, but it's been a long time. Oh, now I'm singing the song in my head. So anyway, this is him. But then, see, it's just all so weird, the connections. I genuinely think Ryan, Blake, Selma, and Francois are more connected than we even realize. I genuinely believe that, which gives me more concern over the connections with Doug Liman and Judge Liman, because Blake keeps getting her way in court. I think it's time for the Blake and Ryan South Park episode. Have they not done one yet? I think they definitely need to. Feel Ryan and Hugh are really together. That won't even shock me, honestly. There's a lot of, and I think Candace had spoken about that too, but there's a lot of like good amount of leading men in Hollywood that are not out. So yes, I would not be surprised. So we're seeing this with Ryan Reynolds with Wrexham. They've been in the news lately. And so Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, 15 billion battle awaits in Wrexham's toughest test yet. So they've also, again, potential 350 million Wrexham sale, giving green or red lights as Ryan Reynolds and Rob handed brilliant reminder. Premier League legend offers himself to Wrexham with direct message to Ryan Reynolds. Interesting. All right, let's see what this says. He's like, hey, Francois, can you lend me like a few billion? Can you lend your friend Ryan a few billion? What does it say? Wrexham will compete in the second tier of English soccer. So yeah, this is English soccer. Francois is French. But again, like, am I the only one that thinks this is weird? It just seems weird. Hello, Sam. It's so nice to have you in the chat. Make yourself at home, please. It's a great group here. It just seems so weird. As Wrexham gears up to compete in the championship, English soccer's second tier next season, the club's Hollywood owners are coming to terms with a new financial landscape. The upcoming season marks the first time in 43 years that the Red Dragons will play in the second tier, having last played in the old second division from 1978 to 1982. The game has changed significantly since then, with big bucks flowing from lucrative TV deals and parachute payments for newly regulated Premier League's team. Many club owners boast impressive personal wealth, with one part owner's net worth reaching a staggering $18 billion. And while they're not strapped for cash, Ryan and Rob, they have an estimated combined of $400 million. Guys, that kills me. Like, if Justin had that, I'm sorry. It's too many coincidences to say that $400 million was dismissed with prejudice. That was like their entire net worth. It's $400 million. How much? Let me double check how much Francois is worth again. I did have it up. Is that who they're referring to there? That's interesting. So I just pulled up an article that Pinault, so Francois is like when you're looking at his total net worth or his total worth of all his businesses themselves are billions and billions, but it says his personal net worth is 18.6 billion. It was updated. This article is from a month ago, and that was the last known update, apparently August 2021, of his personal. Are you talking about Francois here? Many club owners boast impressive personal wealth, with one part owner's net worth reaching a staggering 18 billion. It kind of feels like Ryan's worth is 330 million. Well, there you go. He's buying dinner. Yeah, literally. I'm not paying the tab when you're going out with someone with 18 billion. Kidding me? I'm getting like an extra glass of wine. I'm going to be fancy at that dinner. I think they're talking about Francois there. It seems too coincidental that it's exactly 18 million. So anyway, I just feel like he's like the connections with the sports teams. And now this connection that I'm going to talk about next is a little bit broader or a little more vague, but it's just interesting to me how closely aligned like the business decisions are. And if they're so close where Salma Hayek says that Blake Lively's kids call Selma Aunt Selma, it does just make me wonder, like, if I had a friend that had $18 billion and was the owner of Artemis, the holding company Artemis, I'd probably be wanting financial advice from him. Not going to lie. So I wonder if that came into it, but let's have a look. Let me just find okay. So the other piece, and again, all this to me, the way I take this isn't proof that, they're other than the fact that Francois basically owns the luxury and elite. He's one of the biggest names. But it's just interesting to me. To me, this just looks like that Ryan, Francois, Selma, and Blake are a lot closer than probably people realized. Looks like Ryan and copy Taylor doing business decision deals. Yeah. I feel like Blake's trying to be Taylor and Ryan's trying to be Francois. I don't know. The sports team are free or bad press and haters. Makes sense that he wants to focus there. That's a good point. In a previous video, I did touch on that, especially if you have a public figure that's going through controversy. And looking back at the time he bought Wrexham, I can't find anything horrible that he would have been trying to bury, but it is well known within that elite circle that buying a sports team, especially one that's seen as like connected to like, your childhood or you're passionate about or the underdog, is really good for PR. It's really good for PR. And that's something I have talked about previously as well. Okay, so billionaire Pinault family doubles down on cruising with Aqua deal. So the billionaire behind such brands as Gucci and Balenciaga, we know Blake loves Balenciaga, is amping up his investments in the industry far outside fashion. So he's going over into cruising. 10 years after the Pinault family's private investment company group Artemis took ownership of French cruise line Pinault, which has 13 ships best known for sailing throughout the Arctic and Antarctic. I don't know. That'd be a wild cruise. It has bought a majority share in Aqua Expeditions, a boutique luxury line known for exploring Indonesia's Raja Ampat. I'm horrible with words. I'm sorry, guys. And the Peruvian Amazon in high style. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but the announcement was made in mid-January. And this is just this year. Published February 24th, 2025. So he just recently purchased this. And the Aqua acquisition is a small one in terms of assets. So he's branching out into luxury yachts, into boats. Do boats sound familiar? Because we also have a weird connection with boats on Ryan's side. It's just weird. Like, again, to me, it's just Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds announced as co-owners of the Bonds Flying Ruse out California's. I'm losing my mind, guys. I've been talking about Blake Lively too much this week. Starting to lose my mind. Australia is one of my favorite places in the world. Shout out to the Aussies. Sail GP team. So Ryan and Hugh went in and got this. And again, it's not like it's luxury yachts, but it just seems like such similar business moves and expansions within the luxury or within the sports arenas. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're just more connected. So this is all about new owners, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds. We're incredibly excited to set sail together in this new adventure. Hugh brings a deep love for and pride in his home country, as well as being an avid fan of sailing. He will also be bringing his overly clingy, emotional support human along for the ride. Apologies in advance to Australia. No comment on whether we're writing this in our bonds. No further questions. Apologies to Australia. Have you guys, who's in Australia here? Let me know if you're in Australia. Have you guys heard much about this? Because I haven't heard much of this deal. And when I hear of Ryan's name, I usually hear of Wrexham. But they're branching out to the water. Francois is branching out to the water as well. I don't know. It's just weird to me. It says they bring unmatched star power, a love for storytelling, and a sharp sense of humor that fits perfectly with our team. With Bonds joining as our title partner and the launch of the Bonds Flying Ruse, we're building something distinctly Australian, a team driven by spirit, resilience, and national pride. I don't know if Ryan aligns with that, but sure. I don't know, guys. It's just so weird. It's just weird to me. I'm CA, but Australia sounds nice. I dreamed from the time I was a kid. I manifested it. I'm not going to lie. I had, well, at the time it was like ripped out magazine pictures of Australia on my wall from the time I was a kiddo, and got to go there in 2008 for a year. And it was the best year. It was amazing. I'm in Melbourne and I've heard nothing. See, that's weird, right? I don't know why it's not being promoted more. Ryan and Hugh, yacht boys. Well, here's the thing. If they start getting into yachts, then that's going to be even a bigger red flag. Well, that's a good point too. Luxury cruising, there is a lot of sketchy things that go on luxury cruising. That is a good point. So congratulations on 12K subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm still so shocked that people care about the PR moves and branding and marketing of it all. So genuinely, I wake up every day so grateful for each of you and shocked that you care about this side of the story, to be honest. So thank you for being here, guys. It's, yeah, I have the best community. You guys are the best. So anyway, it's just weird to me. I genuinely believe that they have more connections, which just makes me more concerned, especially when we look at Blake Lively is consistently getting her way in the lawsuit. Now, let me see. I wasn't going to pull it up, but I have about 10 minutes. Let me see if I can find it quick. I need like hold music. Oh, I swear it was just today. But either way, Blake had submitted to try and force TAG employees to turn over any communication. She's dragging like all the TAG employees into this, and the judge granted that as well. Like it is just like stamp approve, stamp approve, stamp approve, stamp approve for anything with Blake. So while if you had caught me a month, 2 months ago, looking at yacht connections and French versus English sports team connections, I've probably been like, guys, we're going down a rabbit hole. Although I am a big fan of like conspiracy theories, because I always say conspiracy theories are just 6 months early. I would have thought we were going a little off track, but the fact that consistently Blake gets whatever she wants. Yeah, I'll share what I'm looking at here, but this isn't the one I was looking for. So she had submitted this looking to compel key third parties, Catherine Case and Brianna Butler Coslow, to make full productions of all relevant non-privileged materials in response to the Rule 45 subpoenas that were sent out June 27th, 2025. Miss Case is a former and Miss Coslow a current employee of the agency group PR LLC TAG, the crisis public relations firm that is alleged to have helped launch a retaliatory social manipulation campaign to destroy and bury Miss Lively on behalf of Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and Wayfair Studios. The nearly identical subpoena had a compliance date of March 20th, 2025, and contained 13 requests for productions, requests seeking Miss Case and Miss Coslow's documents and communications from May 1st, 2024 through present regarding Miss Lively or Mr. Reynolds, the various defendants, the digital campaign, and limited phone records. Counsel for Miss Lively engaged in a lengthy conferral process with counsel for Miss Case and Miss Coslow. It began on March 25th, 2025. The hypocrisy for me is, Blake Lively won't produce anything. But the way she loses her shit, if anyone is even if she even gets a sniff that someone might push back about what she wants. But Blake can drop 10 and 11 and still claim garden variety emotional distress. Y'all, I apologize. In the beginning, I was in the very beginning, I said, I don't see the corruption with the judge. I'm always willing to say I'm wrong. Not even leaving aside all of these weird connections we've seen. The fact that Blake gets whatever she wants, rubber stamped right away, is just bizarre to me. So should compel compliance, the subpoena seek information that is relevant to the claims and defenses and proportional to the needs of the case. As individuals who witnessed and participated firsthand the Wayfair party's digital efforts, the materials are highly relevant, indeed vital to Miss Lively's claims. But I'm trying to find... There was a declaration to support the motion that went out, what's today? The 13th, yesterday. It's counsel of Blake Lively. So she submitted a declaration that these people should be forced to turn everything over on April 15th, 2025. I met and conferred with counsel for Miss Case and Miss Coslow regarding the request. Miss Case and Miss Coslow indicated that they would produce documents responsive to request numbers 11 to 13. They're saying, however, through counsel, they continue to insist that the requests were too burdensome and should be narrowed further. It blows my mind how continuously Blake just gets whatever she wants. What one's this? Oh, and then she had gone on about the issues to compel her outstanding again. They just keep submitting it. I feel like this, at this point, is just trying to get press around it, that Wayfair parties are being, sketchy and they're not turning things over. So anyway, my friends, I do have to jump off because I have calls today. But yes, tag. Sorry, guys, I should have clarified that. Thank you for clarifying in the chat. Tag is Melissa Nathan. And this is why the Scooter Braun thing yesterday. Oh, that's a good point. Good catch. That's a very good catch. Maybe the judge isn't a real judge. At this point, nothing would surprise me. Nothing. I don't see Blake and Ryan divorcing. They both know too much about each other to separate. That's true. Wouldn't be financially feasible for Ryan either. I know there's been claims that apparently they've seen a divorce lawyer. I'm not convinced they're living together. I think there was blinds that said they're not living together. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're not. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see a side-by-side of what Judge Liman has denied for Justin Baldoni and allowed for Blake Lively. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point too. Any one of us can file a judicial conduct complaint citing a familiar relationship, past rulings, previous adversarial action between Freeman and Liman's brother. There was, and I shouldn't even say this because I don't know off the top of my head the details, but apparently Gottlieb has been in front of Judge Liman and never, this might be wrong, but never lost a case in front of him, which seems interesting as well. And I keep meaning to check out the connections between Gottlieb and Liman, because I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh man, I wish I could remember. It was a DM that was sent to me. Let me see if I can quickly find it before we go. Oh, how many was it? Anyway, I'll see if I can find it. I'll put a reel up around it if I can find that DM, or I'll just look into it myself too, because I'm sure I'll be able to find it. But I think it was that, I don't know, a bunch of cases. And there we go. He's been in front of him over 50 times and never lost. 50. There we go. That's wild to me. It's just a little weird. Just a little weird. Shirley Freeman is aware of Judge Liman, but will he do anything? I don't know. You would think he would be aware, but I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I would feel if I was a client, I would feel very uncomfortable with all these connections. I'd be like, we have to do something. That would seem very weird to me. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. It's just really weird. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that I would have to investigate the judge, but maybe you do at this point in the world. Maybe you do. And, I've heard a lot of people say that, even the Salma Hayek thing is a stretch. And the whole point for me is this is Hollywood elite, right? Judge Liman is connected to Hollywood elite through his brother. And when you're talking about billions and billions of dollars and people that are owning, luxury yachts and all these sports teams, and, Ryan's playing at that level, though 330 million versus 18 billion, which I am convinced they were referencing Francois in that article that just dropped the other day for Ryan around Wrexham. What are the chances they reference an owner of a football soccer team that has 18 billion personal net worth? Like, it's just too much of a coincidence. So I am guaranteeing they were referencing Francois in that article that was aimed at Ryan. When you're playing at that level, the people are small. You know each other. I don't know. And I just find it hard to believe. And when you look at, if you go through my videos, because I have a video breaking down the financial issues with Liman and then the video with Salma Hayek. Even if in your head you think I can be impartial still, I genuinely don't. Us as humans, I genuinely don't believe you could be genuinely unbiased with all the connections that are on Blake and Ryan's side. Knowing human psychology, I don't believe it. And then you add on top of it the Hollywood elite. And to me, you have a recipe for disaster. That's a good question too. Gottlieb might be really good, but let's see a scorecard from other judges. That is a good question. I can look into that. Yeah, I don't buy it either. And just knowing human psychology, it doesn't track. It just doesn't track for me. And he had, from the video we did on the financial ties, we read multiple articles on Liman. And when he was caught, his wife had Bank of America stocks and he dismissed a case. It was in the billions of dollars, dismissed a case where it benefited Bank of America, and he lied. I'll show you that really quick. I think I have that one up here. We'll have to zoom, as Emily D. Baker would say. Oh, I'm sorry for those that, I might be interrupting your Alan Jackson closing. I was watching that. How dare I go live during Alan Jackson's closing? We go over this more in the video. I do have to bounce though, because I don't want to be late. I hate being late when someone's waiting on me. We'll go over this really quick, but it is in the financial breakdown of Judge Liman, where he was caught previously. So when we look at this, he had claimed that it had been brought to his attention, the financial connection. And there was an investigative journalism piece done on this. And they said Liman's letter was at best misleading. The specific wording, it had come to his attention, and disqualification that is not discovered implied that he had no knowledge of his wife's Bank of America stock until after he dismissed the Litovich case. That is not so. So he had disclosed it on the report for 2020. This article is how I found the 2020 report, which also showed the T-Mobile purchases. I'm like, my ADHD brain hyperfixation. So it was clearly listed there. He wrote, and the investigation says, Liman has invasive evasive letter imposed such wasted effort on the litigants and appellant jurors who had to proceed on their erroneous assumption that he had no knowledge of the conflict until after it was reported by the Wall Street Journal, which occurred after Judge Liman issued his decision granting the motion to dismiss with prejudice in favor of the bank that he held stocks with, or his wife held stocks with, and the undisclosed amount was under $15,000, which if you saw my financial video on Judge Liman, he had two different sections for T-Mobile. I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head. I don't have time to pull it up, but it was $15,001 up to, I think it was $50,000. Plus he added two purchases in February 2020 of $1 to $15,000. So it was a lot more money that's involved in the T-Mobile connections. So he said, or the appellant court said that it was a conflict and fell under the however small rule of disqualification. It was sent back to the trial court and assigned a new judge who will have to start from the beginning. He also sent a second letter to the parties informing them that his wife had not fully divested the Bank of America stock several months before the dismissal. This person that did the report, I sent Liman an email requesting an explanation of the discrepancy between his letter and financial report. I received only a curt reply from an administrator stating that the court declined to comment on any matters before it. That is a bogus excuse. The Litovich case had not been before Liman for over 2 years. Liman is a liar. Liman is a liar and lies to cover his ass in court. I can't stand liars. Moreover, the Code of Conduct for United States judges specifically allows judges to issue explanations of court procedures. So it says Liman's non-disclosure had serious repercussions in a single case. More significantly, it is emblematic of the casual attitude towards disclosure and recusal that is found too often in the judiciary, as the Wall Street Journal reported from top to bottom. Yeah. So it says, instead of apologizing, he invented an absolving story of belated discovery, which failed the test of candor. The public deserves better. So you want to take something to the media, and don't come at me that Brian Freeman and Justin should go to legacy media. Legacy media has done nothing to prove that Justin and Brian can trust them. Give me a break. You want to take something to legacy media about Judge Liman, which I've tried. No one's even gotten back to me. I've emailed publications that have previously been shown support for Justin. No one will respond to this. No one on legacy media has gotten back to me about this. So this is what was found and stated in thehill.com. Reuters reported on this as well. Instead, Judge Liman, the same judge presiding over Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, invented an absolving story, a belated discovery which failed the test of candor. The public deserves better. And for anyone that says, you know, you're stretching it with these connections, this is what my response is. The public deserves better. Justin deserves better. You deserve better if your life is on the line and you find out. Because put yourself in Justin's shoes. For anyone that's like, yeah, like I do hear you. Some of these connections, it's like, it's a stretch. But when you put it all together and you realize how small the Hollywood elite circle is, those weird connections of sports teams and boats and all this shit doesn't seem so out there. And this has been my argument all along. The public deserves better, because what if it's you? What if it's your family? What if it's your life on the line? Your career on the line? Then what? Is it just like some weird conspiracy theory? Is it just some like odd misogynistic right-wing attack on women? Or would you be a little bit more concerned about these really odd connections that keep showing up? Because I'm telling you, if it was your family and if it was you or your child that was on the line and you started finding out about all of these weird ass connections, you wouldn't be making an excuse for it. You'd be loud, you'd be going to legacy media, and you would be hoping legacy media heard you. But instead, Legacy media is letting Justin down. They are writing these connections off, and they're not even addressing the financial ones. So I just encourage anyone that's watching and thinking that, actually, this is so weird, it's crazy, Team Justin, or, you know, some lawyer accounts have said Team Justin people lack critical thinking. Put yourself in those shoes. Would you want someone to look into it? Would you want to be taken seriously? Because I'd be fighting for you as much as I'm fighting for Justin in that sense. We need to trust the courts. I don't care if you're in Europe, the US, anywhere. I don't care where you are. I'm in Canada. I don't care where you are. We need to be able to trust the courts. You need to be able to trust when you are having a case in front of a judge that you don't have to worry about shit like this. And the only way things change is by people making a stink about it. You hold the power. And that's why I won't let this go. Because this is the justice system in action. And when you have someone like Justin going up against the Hollywood elite, wouldn't it concern you that the judge's brother is connected to the Hollywood elite? The very least, even if legally there's like, you know, it's too odd, the connections, he should have recused himself to not impact public trust in the judicial system. He should have recused himself to show that the law is always unbiased, and that even if he could be, in his mind, unbiased, he wanted a fair trial. He wanted fair decisions for Justin and for there to be trust in the justice system, because that's what each American deserves, because this is America. Each of you deserve that. And I'm sorry, but Blake and Ryan, whether you like them or not, are Hollywood elite, and that judge is connected to them. And they are also, even though they're not in the billions and billions of dollars, through Selma and her husband, are connected to the Hollywood elite at that level as well. All right, my friends, I really have to run. I hope the person I'm meeting isn't like, girl, you're still talking and we're supposed to be on a call right now. Where are you? So thank you for joining me, my friends. If you enjoyed this, please share with someone. I'm really enjoying doing the recaps. Let me know in the comments after I end. Do you enjoy kind of these recaps of headlines? I'm really enjoying it. You still get your pre-recorded content with more of the deeper dives, but I'm really enjoying hanging out with you guys and doing recaps of what's going on. So let me know if you want me to continue that, and we can continue that. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I'm not going to lie. I need some water. I need to pee, and then I need to get on the call. With that, thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. I still can't believe you care about what I have to say, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.